Hello guys, welcome back. Talk to you about something that's going on lately. As I'm doing this faith reset, I'm realizing I have things that, and this is going to be weird hearing a pagan say this, I've turned into idols. It's very easy to take the gifts the gods give us to enjoy and turn it into something we love and have faith in more than we love the gods. It's, for example, it's easy to take the gift of romantic love without the concept of sin attached to it and turn that gift into something really shallow and non-spiritual. And as I was prowling through Game Jolt yesterday, I realized this is just sad at this point. At this point, this has nothing to do with worshiping God, you know, in the masculine sense, or Dionysus or Loki. This is just shallow. And although we can occasionally enjoy something without making it super religious, when you know you're being shallow, you know it's time to stop. And I had kind of come to that realization in that club too. Now, there's nothing wrong with enjoying the gifts of sexuality responsibly, but we have to remember their gifts. When we just start using them to, say, avoid other situations, or we're practicing escapism to an unhealthy level or something else, you know when it's gone too far. You're really not enjoying yourself anymore is a red flag. And I realized I had made money into an idol. In fact, one of the gods asked me last night, they said, well, what if you had 10 times the money you have now? I said, that's easy. I wouldn't even remotely be worried. And they looked at me. I said, 10 times the money I have now? I wouldn't be remotely worried. Who would? And, the guy just looked profoundly sad. And I know why they look profoundly sad, because, we can make idols out of things. And we think that's just a thing that Christians say about pagans, and we get really uppity and tetchy about it. But when we finally have more faith in something like, say, money, than we do in the gods, then we know we have an issue. And I realized, I told Loki today, and it's an issue you guys know I've struggled with for years. I said, I realize I have more faith in money than I do in you. I said, it's terrible because it's kind of one of those catch-22 situations. Yes, we do need money to live in modern society. But if I have more faith in money than I do in Loki, that means Loki's not my god. Money's actually my god. That's kind of scary to admit, but you know what? Healing begins when we admit who our idols are, when we admit, who or what are we idolizing over, say, Loki, or over God, or whomever you worship, or the universe, whatever. If it's money, it's never going to be enough money. Even if I had 10 times the money I have now, then that wouldn't be enough, and I would need more of my idol, more and more and more. And it's an idol too when, if you had enough of fill in the blank, you really wouldn't need Loki, or you really wouldn't need Odin, you wouldn't need God. I think part of the reason I never got that $1 million is gods know darn well that if at this point in my spiritual growth I got $1 million, the gods would never see me again. They might see me for a while, and I might be grateful, and I might say, oh, money didn't change me for a while, but I would forget them awful fast, and I know I would. Now, that does not mean the gods are keeping me in the situation I am now on purpose. They're not punishing me. They're not saying, you love money more than me, how dare you. But it does mean I know I've lost my faith, to an extent, in Loki being a god and being able to take care of me. And that's not an easy thing to admit. Even after I did all those wonderful spiritual things for you last night, I had panic attacks. And we can't control panic attacks, guys. If we have panic attacks and anxiety and depression, we can have a very wonderful spiritual moment and be lifted up to the heavens, and the next moment we're in despair. And this is not us being over emotional. It's nothing we planned. Believe me, nobody that has depression or anxiety plans for it. It's just how our brains are wired. And the gods were talking to me through it all last night. And the god that asked me about having 10 times the money meant well. They meant well. They were trying to let me see that I could take my faith in money and put my faith in the gods. And that's scary. I know what money can do, right? That's the thing with an idol. We know what our idol can do. We know whatever we're idolizing over the gods, the idol can do. I know the power of money. I've come to believe in money so much, I think money can fix everything, and if money can't fix it, that's when we have spirituality. And I was actually explaining that to Loki, and Loki was looking at me utterly appalled, like, I thought you loved me. I thought you cared about me. And I told him today, I confessed to him, I said, We can still have confession in a way to our gods." I said, "I am so obsessed with money right now, Loki. I can't see you. I can't think of any emotions about you. I'm just thinking money, 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 money." And so I drew a bunch of stuff on a candle. I lit it for him. I said, "You gotta take his burden off me. You, God, Jesus, the tree outside. Somebody's gotta take his burden off me and help me not be obsessed with money." Do we need money in our lives? Yeah. So that's why it's a very popular idol, because we think it solves everything and it can replace our faith in our gods. And that's okay. That's human. It's not just a Christian thing. Pagans can do it too. We can idolize money. We can idolize, the physical pleasures of the body to the point where we forget their gift from the gods. You especially know you're running into problems once, say, Dionysus or Loki or whomever is your god of that, if you're of appropriate age. And you're like, you know what? I really want to go off and do this alone. Once in a while it's okay, but when the god's like, you don't want me to witness my literal sacred sacrament that you offer to me. I know Christians are grossing out, but for pagans, sex is a sacred sacrament. When you're telling a god you don't want to give them their sacred sacrament anymore, you will feel weird, or you would feel whatever. You have to stop and ask yourself, why are you starting to think of sex as sinful and dirty? Then you have to be honest with where you're headed and talk to the gods. And maybe that's something you leave alone for a while. We all go through complicated times in our life. And if you're thinking of, you just want this shallow pleasure and you don't want it to be a sacred sacrament, and you don't like the sacred part anymore, that's actually a turn off for you. You kind of have to ask yourself why. Like, why? I'm using this, I'm not using this as a sacred sacrament or a source of pleasure. I'm using this to cover up the fact that I'm not dealing with the fact that I was using it to cover up the fact that I was depressed, that I didn't have enough money. If only I had all this money, I would be happy. Loki's so damn tired of hearing about money at this point, and so are all of you. But it's a catch-22. It's one of those things we need to live on. We need to pay bills. We need to put food on the table. Even if we were given everything else in our life, we would still need money to do something. You'd either have to pay taxes or pay bills, or buy yourself food or something. So it's one of those kind of, what they say, necessary evils in life. But it's okay to want enough money to pay your bills. There's no sin in wanting enough money to take care of yourself. The sin comes in, and sin's a bad word, the wrongness comes in when it becomes our god and it replaces our faith in Loki, or it replaces your faith in God or the universe or whomever. And that's my main problem with manifestation, because we're basically going to our god and we're saying, I love you and everything, but you know what I'd really love? $10 million, mansion, 2 houses, 5 lovers, this, that, the other. There's nothing wrong with wanting things. I know this is a complicated issue sometimes to understand, even though I struggle with it. There's nothing wrong in wanting things. There's nothing wrong with wanting a love life, or wanting, enough money, or wanting a home to live in, or wanting all these other things. Those are healthy, natural feelings, but it's become an obsession. It's become our idol over Loki or over God or everything. It's all we want, and we're going to him and we're trying to manifest this stuff, and we're saying, no, I really need $10 million. I don't need you. I need this $10 million. And we never put it that way unless we're dumb. We're like, I will believe in you and I will believe in your love when I have the $10 million, when I have that second home, when I have that car, when I have that lover, when I have all this stuff. I need this stuff. Why aren't you giving me this stuff? And Argos are actually no more fond of us having idols before them than any other god. An idol really means not so much a statue of our god, though some people might think it. It means a false, empty image that can do nothing for you, but you worship it. So money can become an idol, because we're not literally sitting around worshiping piles of money, but in a way we are, because money suddenly is the one that can fill all our needs that usually we would rely on the gods for. Money gives us shelter, money gives us food, money gives us all this stuff. In a way, we're technically logically right, but it's the gods that are giving us those blessings in the first place, and we have to remember that. So it can be hard, guys, and it can be scary. I know it can. So I asked Loki to take that burden away from me. Worshiping money to an extreme, over, worshiping money in the first place is not right. But worshiping money to the extreme is why we have the culture we have, and we wonder why our culture is so vapid and shallow, why we have all these celebrities and everything else. We worship money, we worship power, we worship fame, we worship all these things that can't fulfill us and love us in the way the gods can. Loki's been waiting for me to, one, come out of the panic attacks, and he's been very loving and nurturing about that, and he understands I can't control when those come on. And he's been, two, waiting for me to realize, we have to have faith in the gods. I know it's hard and scary because it feels like the moment we give up our idol and it's an idol, disaster is going to happen. The moment I let go of this death grip on being given all the money I want, for example, Loki will totally forget about me needing money at all, and all of a sudden my bank account will disappear or something else. That's not going to happen. The gods are going to take care of us. But what they think we need and what we think we need can be vastly different. It doesn't matter if you're talking about God, Buddha, Loki, the universe, whomever. We might think we need millions of dollars to be happy, and they might look at us and go, no, I know the way you're built. You get that money, you'll go through it in 4 months, and then you will be extra miserable. I'm not giving you this money. Please stop asking. I will take care of you. You might not like the way I take care of you, but believe me, I know more than you. So, it was weird. Today I went and I read a couple Christian articles. I know, but Christians deal with this stuff. We don't. Christians deal with making an idol out of things, of making an idol out of money, of becoming too commercialistic, of treating sex, shallowly and stuff like that. We kind of like to pretend that nothing we do is wrong. And in a sense, we don't have a sin sense, but we know when we're devaluing a gift from the gods, whether it be money or sex or food or something else, we're headed down a wrong path. It's not in a path such as wages of sin or death. It's nothing heavy like that, but it is in a sense of we're taking a wonderful gift meant to make us happy and we're using it to cover up our feelings or to cover up our stress. And once in a while, if you're having a lousy day, it's okay to have an ice cream or something. But you know that if you're chronically abusing food or you're chronically abusing sex or you're chronically abusing drugs, you know that even the most pagan-y pagan realizes that you have to go get help. Like Dionysus does not want us to become sex addicts or raging alcoholics or drug users. He does not. Loki doesn't want any of those things for us either. Loki does not want us going crazy and starting to panic and worshiping money to the point where we think, should I be playing the lottery? Shouldn't I be playing the lottery? Will I have more money if I play the... Stop. Stop. Have faith in Loki. I know it's hard. I know it's scary. Our idol, without even doing anything, because idols aren't real. Money's not real. Money's not this real entity. Our idols can control our hearts and our minds without even doing anything. And the gods recognize that. That's the damage of having an idol, because it's literally not alive. It would be like if I started to idolize this coffee cup, and I believe the coffee cup had spiritual, magical powers. That coffee cup actually can't hear me if I pray to it and light incense and candles and sing songs of adoration. That coffee cup can't help me. Money can't help me if I start praying openly to money and saying, I need 10 million of you and your friends to come jump in my bank account. Money can't hear me. Money's just a thing. It's a dead, lifeless thing. So is food in its own way, even if you're eating live food, like that totally vegan raw diet. Food can become an idol. Love can become an idol. Sex can become this very shallow idol. We do have to watch, even as pagans, that we can create our own idols. We can make ourselves into idols. We can make other humans into idols. And, it's not in the concept, I swear this is not covert Christianity, but we know it's an idol when we're sad, when we've lost our connection with Loki or whatever god we worship, and when we're just dissatisfied with life, and the only thing that's going to satisfy us is more of our idol. It's okay to admit that. And it's very okay because, the idols we get idols that we have every day in our lives. That's what we start to idolize or covet. And yes, I got that off Silence of the Lambs, but it's true. Um, you have an idol that you have to interact with every day. Money became my idol because we need it every day. Sex can become our idol because we need it from time to time, most of us. Love can become our idol because we're obsessed with love in our culture. Fame can become our idol. Whatever it is that we use from day to day or we come into contact with every day, that's what we covet. That's what becomes our idol. I'm not idolizing a Bowflex. I'm not idolizing a yacht. I'm not really idolizing having my own private island or, any of this other stuff, but we can idolize and we can envy, and envy's a separate subject, but we're subject to it too. We're subject of coming on YouTube and seeing, what everyone else has and we don't have and getting envious. We're subject to going on Pinterest and seeing what all these people have and we don't. We're subject to, and this is why I got rid of Facebook, going on Facebook and seeing what everybody else has and we don't. We're all subject to envy and frustration, and that can make us really reboot our idolization of whatever, of famous people, of rich people, of money, of sex, of food, of drugs, or whatever. So, and I come from a long line of people that end up putting something before their god, whether it's God or it's Loki or it's Odin or whomever. They ended up putting drugs in front, and they ended up putting, you know, um, whatever in front, money in front, or marriages in front, or whatever else in front, and it did not end well for a lot of them. So I know to be super careful. I know to look at my family tendency to obsess over things and to make an idol out of things, and to say, well, if that idol could solve all their problems, they'd still be with us, and it didn't. So, I know that's kind of a downer video, but in a way it feels timely, and I needed to get that out as we're going through together in the weeks and months ahead together. I might do some heavy subjects, but it feels like, we should have adult faith. We should have adult faith as pagans. We should admit, yeah, there are going to be rough times, and there are going to be times when something's going to become an idol, especially if we feel that tiniest bit of a squeeze. It's going to become our idol, and what do we do about it? Well, you can go to Loki, and it doesn't mean that, sometimes we do have to wait for it to get better. And that's another subject entirely, because I've been wanting to do something, and I have like a 10-month period to get it done in. And I was obsessed. At first, I was fine. I was keeping from the last time I talked about this to now. I was waiting until May to start the process rolling, and then I started having panic attacks. What if extra stumbling blocks come in my way? What if this goes wrong? What if that goes wrong? What if I can't do this? And it's beneficial for me to wait. It's beneficial for me to wait, and I have to keep that goal in mind. I have to think, as scary as it's going to be to wait. And Loki's telling you need to wait. And once I have truly let go of money as an idol, and only I'll know when that happens, it's not let go of your idol and the gods will give it to you. It's you'll find comfort in the gods, is what will happen, whether you have your idol or not. And you'll reinvent a healthy relationship with the gods. And if it's any consolation, as I did research, there are plenty of Christian get out of debt groups because people kind of idolized money. And it's a human need, guys. We really aren't prepared to deal with money. Our species is a hunter-gatherer species from out in the wild that nothing costs money, so we're kind of bad at it still, even though we've had it for thousands of years. We're still kind of bad at this concept because surely, like nature, it replenishes itself, and our little hunter-gatherer brains tell us, well, this money is what seems to keep us safe and gives us food and shelter and everything. So it's very easy to idolize money and to put it before the gods, even a god as wonderful as Loki. So, if you guys like what you see, like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you later. Bye-bye.